Good afternoon. The Chilliwack Creative Commission is located in the traditional and unceded territory of the Stalo people. We are thankful to be able to live, work, and create in this beautiful area. Live from Studio C, welcome to Creative Third Thursdays. I'm your guest host, Aidan McAlpine. And the third Thursday of the month is when we get to mingle with like-minded creative folks and focus on one of them as our featured creative. I'm usually in the control room pushing buttons, but since I'm on stage today, I've recruited a capable replacement. Aidan McAlpine is up there on that screen. No relation, but he's working the cameras, audio, and lights today. And thank you very much, Aidan. For more information about Creative Third Thursdays, check out our website. And more about our sponsoring organization, the Chilliwack Creative Commission, visit businessinchilliwack.com. And watch for our hashtag. And so the commercial is over. We're going to dig right into this now. Let's meet our monthly featured creative. So Maddi Krulicki is a multidisciplinary artist from Chilliwack with roots in both we practiced this, Snuneymuxw. How'd I do?
Okay.
Not bad. The Snuneymuxw First Nation and Stalo territory, specializing in music production and songwriting. She is also skilled in sound recording, mixing, and is versatile in multi-instrumentalist, tongue twister. Through her music, Maddi seeks to forge a new path for future generations, breaking free from conventional methods of thought and self-expression while honoring the strength of her Indigenous heritage. This philosophy extends to her work as a visual artist, where she explores mediums such as graphic design to further express her creative vision. Please welcome Maddi Krulicki to the stage. Come on out. And you may not have known you were going to get a musical treat. I don't think we were as explicit as we should have been with our marketing, but we've got her in her contraption here, and rather than doing a Britney Spears style head-worn mic.
I do love the Britney Spears mic, though.
Not everybody can pull it off.
You can.
So you are from the region and have roots in Chilliwack and so forth. Tell me about you growing up.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Chilliwack. I have kind of lived all over Chilliwack, actually. I was born in Fairfield, and then I lived downtown. I lived on Promontory. So, yeah, I just kind of been around here my whole life, yeah.
And your parents are very artistic, from what I understand. Yeah,
my mom is a Indigenous language artist. She goes by B. Wise. Some of you might be familiar with her. She's done the Vetter Roundabout. She designed that down there. She has some art in the hospital as well, and just kind of all over the place. And my dad is also a graphic designer, but he specializes more in like merchandise kind of stuff, like clothing and apparel and stuff.
And you've got two older siblings. Are they also involved in the arts in some capacity?
Yeah, my sister is also a graphic designer, and my brother is more into like claymation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Music, when did that start?
Music started one day when my mom just brought home a miniature guitar, actually very similar to this guitar. She brought it home from work because somebody at her job had left it there. Their kids had outgrown it. And she thought, oh, well, I'll bring it home and maybe my kids will play it. Probably not. I'll probably just donate it or whatever. And I saw it sitting there and I was like, yeah, why not? I'm going to learn how to play that. So I would sit in our basement and I would watch YouTube videos of how to play guitar for like hours and hours and hours until one day I was playing Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison and my mom went, is someone playing the guitar? Like, what's going on here? So yeah, that's how that started.
I like the term self-taught, but it's almost impossible to be self-taught now since there's YouTube, right?
Yes,
like you are being taught by experts from all over the world, and it's just it's incredible what you can learn off of that platform.
Absolutely. I've done most of my musical learning through YouTube, even up until now. We were just doing that in the back room, Googling how to set something up on GarageBand. So, it's always there for you, which is awesome.
Yeah, we were doing some multi-track recording for her just to make sure that we capture everything. And Maddi's into this really high-tech Logic stuff. And I brought it all the way down to GarageBand, and we're both staring at it, not being able to figure out how do we do the multi-track thing. So, school. You went to GW Graham. Tell us about that experience.
I did, yeah. I loved GW Graham, actually. They had a lot of arts programs, which obviously I would be very interested in. And they, when I was going there, they started as a middle school and went all the way to high school. So I went there for my whole, that range of learning. And I got into programs where I was able to kind of self-guide my homework. They would give us the curriculum, and then we were able to choose what we would do for projects. So I got to make videos on things. I got to design books, and, I could make a song if I wanted to. You had a lot of freedom in being able to choose how you represented your learning, which I thought was amazing.
Did you have any favorite teachers?
I did, yeah. I loved my art teacher, Miss Sagert, and I loved my history teacher, Mr. Bila. They were awesome. Yeah.
And you said it was the baccalaureate
Yes.
program that you were involved in.
The International Baccalaureate. That's how to say it, I guess. Yeah.
And I guess that's that self-guided learning and so forth.
Self-guided in the sense of you could do your homework in kind of whatever way you wanted.
I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Post-secondary, you went to UVic to study psychology. Is that right?
I have half a degree in my Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I went there for 2 years, but because of my education being so artistic in high school, it was really difficult for me to go into that university space where I felt it was very much not super hands-on. It was a lot of PowerPoints and take this quiz on your computer, and very it wasn't super interactive in the sense of you didn't have a close community, and you also I was missing that artistic component of oh whoa, I can't just do whatever I want, in the sense of I can't write a book or create art to represent my learning. I had to write that essay. I had to take those exams. And obviously there's a place for that and being able to show what you've learned. But I felt that took away a lot of my essence of who I was as a person.
I imagine you still learned a lot during that and applied that to your life.
I definitely did. I'm still very much interested in psychology and sociology, but I would say more in a spiritual sense rather than a scientific sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm less interested in the statistics and more in the interpersonal dynamics between people and themselves.
And growing up, obviously Indigenous, what role did you have in and amongst your community? It sounded like you were both on reserve and off at times. Tell me about what that was like growing up.
Yeah, I was never actually on reserve, but I've always been involved in, I would say, the language component more so in the Indigenous community, because that's what my mom really brought to me. I was very privileged. I lived on Promontory. I didn't really experience that reserve life that a lot of people go through. There's still so many reserves across Canada that do not have clean drinking water, which is not talked about. And that is not the experience that I lived. I was privileged in that sense. So I carry forward my perspective on, helping the Indigenous community in whatever way they say is appropriate for me. There's a lot of experiences that I haven't personally gone through. So I'm more passionate about stuff with the language, I would say, because that's, it just has been part of my history. Yeah.
And you've grown up to be a mentor and a real role model. How is that playing out in your life?
Yeah. So right now I'm part of an Indigenous and English music group. So they're called Good Medicine songs, and we do half of the songs in Halkomelem and then direct translation into English. And so it is a very dynamic learning tool that we use with bands in Chilliwack as well as some schools. And, that's been a really amazing process for me to be able to learn from elders and from, musicians in the community and be able to bring that into such an open space for, youth to learn from. That's been super rewarding for me.
And have you been doing live performances with that group?
Yeah, definitely. So we do live performances, but we also write directly with the youth in the community. We just did Shwalistuk to Squala, which is caring for the Hope Slough. They're revitalizing the slough right now. That was part of the Squaw band and the Palau youth. And they have done amazing work, and they're still continuing to do that to bring back the natural essence of the land there. And so we worked directly with those youth that were working on the land to write a song that represented the animals and the plants and the essence of revitalizing that area of Chilliwack, which was super cool.
So music is definitely your passion, but like many musicians, you need to augment that with other forms of work. But you've managed to do that in a very creative way. And as a graphic designer, tell us about that aspect of your life.
Yeah, so graphic design has obviously been around me forever. I had all the programs on my computer growing up because, my parents and my sister, they were doing it professionally. So I was 8 years old messing around on Photoshop. But in the last few years, I was able to work with my dad, making merchandise for, corporations and businesses in Chilliwack. And now I'm working at Nations Creations, which is an Indigenous-led corporation owned by Scoutcol Seabird. And they focus primarily on corporate design for Indigenous businesses. So I've done some designs for First Nations Health Authority, and many others, primarily stuff for Seabird themselves, but other bands definitely come in and we help them design. So I mostly do t-shirts and hoodies. So I did a lot of the Every Child Matters shirts this year, as well as Anti-Bullying Day, and primarily design work and less of the physical pressing of shirts, but we have people there that do that as well.
Well, my first run-in with Maddi, and it wasn't really a run-in so much as you were recommended to do our annual Pechakucha event, and you had an amazing idea for your talk, and you submitted your slides, and I thought, wow, she collaborated with a graphic designer. I didn't realize that was also part of your world, and I just grabbed one of the slides, and she custom designed a 20-slide storybook with amazing illustrations. So it was just cream of the crop, and so. Yes, multidisciplinary indeed. So
thank you.
Now I want to talk about this persona that you've created.
Yes.
Maddi K. Tell us about that. It's an alter ego of sorts?
I feel like it's become that. It originally was because it's very difficult to spell my last name, so going into Google and people thinking, okay, Krulicki, how do I spell that? So it started with just Maddi K. And I was working with other people. And so there was kind of creative headbutting in terms of identity and stuff. But now I've kind of embraced it as almost a shadow essence of my life that I've converted into art in order to heal the parts of myself that were maybe desiring to be seen and desiring to be heard, because I felt like my voice was so stifled by society and everything. And so I really embodied that into this persona, which I don't think at the time I was super aware of, but now looking back, that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
And it comes to life in a lot of imagery.
Yeah.
Are those actual glasses, or is that all Photoshop?
Those are actual glasses.
Okay.
That's funny. I was going to bring them, and then I just didn't bring them. But yeah, this is a full real photo that me and my girlfriend work on. She is my photographer, actually.
Okay.
So she did all the photos for this project, and we designed the whole wardrobe ourselves. We went to the thrift store. We didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, but we knew what we wanted to do visually. Those are wires that I pulled out of a laptop to tie in my hair. We just had broken things sitting around. And so we try to be really resourceful and conscious of the environment when it comes to creating art. So that's a huge part of what this was. A very anti, the idea of super editing things like AI and that kind of stuff, which was the counter culture of the project itself. Yeah.
Any particular influences into your music that, favorite artists or anything? Stop it.
Let me think. I feel like I get Billie Eilish all the time in terms of sound. I really like this artist named Labyrinth, and he primarily does sound design for TV. He did the Euphoria soundtrack, and so that was a huge inspiration for this project, specifically, for sure.
And Maddi does not do anything half way. She said, I want to do it with a backing track. And I said, well, that's cool. We can play that back. And it's also with a really cool video. So I'm going to ask you to perform virtual reality. I'm going to mute my pop, and you're going to have clean environment to sing. So.
Perfect. Am I good to pop this out? We'll get one more pop from me. I'll stand. You love to see me suffer like that. Why would you ever wanna use? Would you ever wanna do me like that? I used to be a cover like that. Don't you lie to me, change your privacy. Don't you cry to me about your dynasty. Why would you lie about the data, cover up your cameras? Why do my eyes look like a panda's purple face bandana? I used to be a lover like that. You love to see me suffer. You love to see me suffer like that. Why would you ever wanna use? Would you ever wanna do me like that? I used to be a cover like that. I used to like that, like that. I used to like that, like that. I used to be a lover like that. You like to see me suffer. You like to see me suffer like that. Thank you.
And so you referred to this as a project.
Yes.
Is it a collection of songs and a traditional album, or?
Yeah, so it's a 14-song album, entirely produced, mixed, mastered, recorded, written by me. Did it all myself in my studio apartment. And it was based off of the idea of the metaverse. That's why it's called the Maddiverse. It's a bit of a pun and a play on the idea of how, you know, these big tech giants like take away our time and our freedom, and, you know, finding your place in the world within that is kind of the theme throughout it. Yeah.
And totally independent. And so with that also comes, you've got to get it out there.
Yes.
Have you found any particular platform is performing better than others, or?
I would say Spotify is the best, but I also pump that one out the most. The best way to get it out there has been actually just performing it, like just being here in public with people in the community. Like it gets, that response is more meaningful to me than anything online could ever be. So.
And have you had a chance to be out there performing quite a bit with it? Or?
I've done a few performances of it. I did the Chilliwack fashion show last year, which is an Indigenous fashion show entirely. So I did a 30-minute set of it there, as well as Hope Pride, which, she hired me for that. So I performed it at Hope Pride last year as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And YouTube, I was checking out your YouTube channel, and you've got quite a few videos on there, and even some just really intimate, you playing an acoustic guitar, and they're really cool. Well, we've got another one from this collection. I'm going to step out of the way and mute my popping, and you're going to play us Blackberries.
Yes, a song for my grandma.
And I particularly love the retro blackberries in the video. There's a little
Thank
preview.
you.
I miss your calls and catching the ferry. I miss being small and picking blackberries. Sometimes I feel like I can see you in the breeze. Sometimes I feel like I can barely even breathe. I miss having a ball, staying up watching Larry. The girls were out at the mall, shopping Burberry. Blocking my calls on their brand new Blackberries. Sometimes I felt like nobody ever liked me, but I felt better once you sang me Let It Be. Told me go stand up tall, nothing's ever too scary. I've been adjusting to looking at the brighter side of life. I've been adjusting to leaving all the pain I had behind. From summer to fall, we picked all the cherries. We played with my dolls and counted canaries. Sometimes I feel so sad that you aren't here to see that I kept all the letters and the notes you left for me, telling me to let go of this pain that I carry. I've been adjusting to looking at the brighter side of life. I've been adjusting to leaving all the pain I had behind. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Now I'm getting old and I'm getting hairy. Think that I met a girl that should like me to marry. I wish I had more time to tell you what it means. That part of you will always be a part of me. But I gotta go and pick some blackberries. I've been adjusting to looking at the brighter side of life. I've been adjusting to leaving all the pain I had behind. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'll be alright. I'll be alright.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So there's one thing about finding a guitar in the basement and figuring it out, but you're producing all of this. Like,
Yeah.
how are you creating these soundscapes and instruments? Like, is it all traditional or
No, it's very, like, I would say mixed, like what I'm doing. This project specifically, like the Maddiverse project, I focused a lot on combining natural element sounds with like electronic sounds. So in that song, like there's sounds of water that are being used as like snares and snaps, and there's like tree branches that are like breaking in there, as well as like very like synthetic instruments. Like there's keyboard sounds in there, like literal like typing keyboard, not like a piano keyboard, but there is also synths and just different elements to create whatever the message of the song is trying to convey. So it's like very multifaceted in that essence.
I had a thought midway through this afternoon in preparing for this. I should have asked you to do a screen grab of your Logic project, because I imagine it's crazy.
It is. It's like 50 tracks, and I have to go through and mix them all down. And yeah, it took like a year and a half, I think, to do the whole project.
And how did you learn that? YouTube?
YouTube.com. Not sponsored, but yeah, entirely.
Are there any particular producers that or teachers online that really had a role in teaching you, or just
like,
it was?
I should be able to name them because they deserve that credit, but it's kind of, I would try and do everything I could myself until I hit a wall where I was like, I actually don't know how to do this. And then I would search it up and watch one or two specific videos on how to do that. And then I'd be like, okay. And then I would continue on until I hit another wall of, oh, I want to try and use a vocoder. Like, how do I do that? And then I would try and figure it out by myself, and then eventually give up and watch a YouTube video if I couldn't figure it out myself.
And what's your tool of choice?
Like my DAW, my Logic Pro for sure. Anything Apple, yeah.
And are there particular plugins that are in your arsenal?
I like my Arturia little MIDI synth. It's super miniature, but it came with a bunch of stock sounds, which a lot of synths, they don't come with sounds. You have to like find them or upload them, but that one came with a ton of really good ones just for free that came with it. So I definitely like that piece of equipment a lot.
Cool. Well, we've got one more song. It's an acoustic, and it's a new one, I believe.
It is, yeah.
Is this a quasi-world premiere?
It is a world premiere of...
Okay, not quasi, a world premiere.
It's not a Maddi K song, so... Okay. Yeah.
But it's
me.
Okay.
It's me, but it's future me. I don't know if I should name drop myself or not yet. Okay. The new name is Ancient Madison, like ancient medicine, but my name's Madison. So that's the new name and the new project, which is going to be focused on healing and feeling through art and interactive content with the music. I won't give away too much on what that's going to be yet, because I'm still working on, figuring out how many things I'm going to do. But yeah, that's the new project that I'm working on.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. Water first. Okay. This one is called Everything I Buried Is Still Alive. A very long title, but...
I dig, but the dirt gets deeper. I dig, but the dirt still stays. I dig till my heart gets weaker. Might dig up a shallow grave, 'cause I put it down, but it just won't die. I push it down till I just can't cry. And I put it down, but it just won't die. 'Cause everything I buried is still alive. I dig, but the dirt gets deeper. I dig, but the dirt still stays. I dig, dig till my heart gets weaker. Might dig up a shallow grave, 'cause I put it down but it just won't die. And I push it down till I just can't cry. And I put it down but it just won't die. 'Cause everything I buried is still alive. I found the scores of all the faces I've forgotten. Once my flesh and bone, but now those memories are rotting to the core. Death is always at my door, and I can't take it anymore. Oh, I dig, but the dirt gets deeper. I dig, but the dirt still stays. I dig till my heart gets weaker. Might dig up a shallow grave. I dig, but the dirt gets deeper. I dig, but the dirt still stays. I dig till my heart gets weaker. Might dig up a shallow grave, 'cause I put it down but it just won't die. And I push it down till I just can't cry. And I put it down but it just won't die. 'Cause everything I buried is still alive. I found the scores of all the faces I've forgotten. Once my flesh and bone, but now those memories have rocked me to my core. Death is knocking at my door, so I can let go of your corpse.
Well, fantastic. World premiere.
World premiere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your magic and your art and your talent. It's been just amazing. And I'm going to find out who has the new magnetic force field that's interacting with all of my mics, because that's the only explanation for it.
Oh my gosh.
But thanks for all of you for coming. It's been just amazing. And